Hi everybody, we're in math. This is Mrs. Lehman from Math with Mrs. Lehman. And today we're very excited because it is the day that the kids got their grade 6 module 3 workbook on rational numbers. And today was lucky module day. So some random people were the recipients of some fine high quality chocolate. Anyway, so that's what we're doing to celebrate. Anyway, we've got a lot to do today, so I'll cut my nonsense down to a bare minimum. The least common multiple of 20 and 50 is 100. Yeah, that's the example I gave a lot of, right? So when 50 and 20 were jumping down the number line, and 20 looks over and oh, there's 50. Hey, 50, how's it going? Hey, I'm pretty good, 20. What's up? And the rest is history. They really fell in love at 100, and they'll continue to see each other at 200, 300, etc. But that's when that first relationship blossomed, and they will always remember their anniversary. LCM 100. Do you have a question, Tara? Oh, I thought you had your hand up. Never mind. All right, find the sum of 98 and 3/10 and 1 and 7400. So you need to know what sum means. S-U-M means what operation?
Yes. Addition.
Addition. We need to add 98.3 and 1.74. What do I need to do to make this happen? Make sure we do what? Jenna, nice and loud. That's Jenna's version of loud. Line up the decimals. She's so quiet. All right, so 1.74. If her family's watching this right now, they're probably like, yeah, right, try living with her. All right, so anyway, so 0 plus 4 is 4. This is 10. Carry the 1. You're going to get 10 again, carry the 1. So who here had 104 hundredths as an answer? Very well done. All right, moving on. Any questions on that? All right. We are going to be talking about different words today. So the main thing we're talking about today is integers, okay? And an integer is simply put a positive or negative whole number. We are not talking about decimals. We are not talking about fractions. So in the back of your module book, in the usual place, we are going to write some notes. The first word that we're going to talk about is integer and its definition. So if you could please write this down. A positive or negative whole number, not a fraction, not a decimal. I'm going to pause this while my class writes that down, and then we'll come back with the next set of words. All right, so the next one is banking words. So we're going to talk a lot about the words that you will see when you're dealing with money as far as integers, and these are all words that represent positive effects on your account. So don't think about it as like positive and negative like associations with things. Really, we're talking about numbers. Is it resulting in an increase to an account or a decrease in the account? This is when all the opinions come out of the woodwork on if a credit card is good or bad, and that's not what this is about, okay? If you see deposit on something, that means that the account is increasing, okay? To help you remember that, maybe you can think depositive because it almost has positive partially in there, right? Anyway, earn, obviously money is going in your account, it's increasing. Receiving money, again, an increase in the account, and gaining money. Credit is confusing to people because they often think, oh, with a credit card you are spending money you don't have, so that's a decrease in your account. No, that's money you owe. The whole act of a credit card or something of that nature is they are giving you money to spend. Yes, you have to pay it back, but the credit card is saying, hey, we're going to give you this money to spend. Now, obviously, that's a discussion for a different day on the pros and cons of that type of situation, but the word credit, if you think about it more like a store, if you return something, right, a store is going to give you store credit. That means they're giving you the money to spend, right? So it's an increase back into your account. Or I think this will relate to most 6th graders. You guys are always asking for extra credit, right? Extra credit, if you get credit on something, that's a positive thing, right? You get points for it. And then extra credit is like, yay, you've increased your score, right? So if you think of credit in that regard, I don't think you'll get it confused at all. All right, so anyway, those are all positive words. Now we're going to go to some of the negative words with banking. So I draw a line in your book and write these words down for negatives. Loss, owe, below zero, withdraw money. That's the verb for taking money out of a bank. If you make a withdrawal, that is the noun version of that. Charge and debit, which if you notice, debit, if you take the I out of debit, it looks a lot like debt. Okay, so those are all meaning that the account is going to decrease if you have any of these situations. Okay, I'm going to pause this while the kids finish writing. Okay, now that we're done with that, we're going to go to the second page of our module. We're going to skip the first page because we essentially already did all of the stuff on this page. We talked about, like, it's a KWL chart. What do you know? What do you not know? What do you want to learn, kind of a thing. We're going to skip right to this next page. This situation is an example with Tim. He's getting money for his B-Day, and he's going to go to the bank and deal with his newfound wealth. So, yes, Lonnie? We're on page 2. Just to clarify to everyone, we are on page 2. All right, so for Tim's 13th birthday, he received $150 in cash from his mom. So 150 is something he received. Now, as an integer, when it asks for an integer, it's asking for a number, and you have to specify whether it's positive or negative, right? So if he's receiving $150, what number is that going to be? 150, yeah. And if we don't write the negative sign in front of that, it's implied that it is positive, right? Just like the decimal point, if it's not written, we know it's there hiding, right? It's same kind of thing with the plus sign. So 150 cash is what he received. His dad took him to the bank to open a savings account. Tim gave the cash to the banker to deposit into the account. There's no number with this, but would that be a positive or negative? Deposit. Positive, yep, very good. The banker credited Tim's new account $150. What would that be as an integer?
Positive?
That's only part of it. Positive what? What's the number? You need the number. Positive 150. Good, Tucker. So that's going to be a positive 150. So again, writing this plus sign out in front is optional. And gave Tim a receipt. 1 week later, Tim deposited another $25. So who can give me the integer? You want to try that again, Maddie, with the number? If you deposit $25, it's what number?
100.
No, we're not going to add it up. We're just going to...
25.
Yeah, so it's just going to be 25. Yep. Yeah, so if we did want to talk about what his balance is, right, we're going to have $150 plus another 25. This kid's up to $175. Woo-woo. No, well, you're making it into more than what it needs to be. They just want you to recognize the terminology and if it's a positive or negative integer, okay? The next month, Tim asked his dad for permission to withdraw $35. So who can give me the integer for that one? What do you think, Lonnie?
Negative. Withdraw means negative.
Right, but what's the number? We need the integer.
35?
Negative 35, yep. So that's going to decrease his account by $35. All right, it says, Tim's dad explained that the bank would charge $5 for each withdrawal from the savings account. So if they're charging $5, what's the integer? Again, integers have to include the number. Jenna?
Negative $5.
Very good, negative 5. All right, and then the rest of this is just some words we need to recognize. So for each withdrawal, remember withdrawal means negative. Withdrawal, negative. Charge is positive or negative? Charge. Negative. Debit. Negative. Remember, debit is negative. It's like debt, right? Looks like debt. All right. Write each individual description below as an integer. Model the integer on the number line using an appropriate scale. So why don't you guys take a few seconds? I'm going to pause this. You're going to draw to your best ability a straight line for our number line for each of these, and then put arrows on the ends, and then we'll go through this. All right, we're going to get started here. So we need the integer for a bank account with $0. Hey, they shouldn't be putting my banking info up there. I'm just kidding. All right, so $0. How would we write that? 0. That's all. 0, right? Now, here's a trick question for you. Is 0 positive or negative? It's actually neither. So you would say it is neither. All right, the number line model, we know how to plot 0. So here's 0. Put a dot right there at the intersection. And to the right of 0 are positive numbers. And to the left of 0, negative numbers. All right? So we need to remember that as we work our way left on the number line, the numbers get less and less in value. And as we go to the right, numbers increase in value. Okay? So left is less. All right. The next one, $150 deposit. So quickly, what's that integer, everyone? Everyone? 150. Few people are not answering. All right, so 150. Now, you don't have to count by ones here. We can jump that up to maybe, what do you guys think? 50? Yep, that works. But make sure you stick with the same interval. If you're choosing to use a scale of 50, you got to stick with 50. Okay, so you can't go, oh, I'm going to count by 10s, and I want to change it to 20s or 50s. I've seen it all, kids. Stick with the same interval throughout. So we're going to count by 50. So 50, 100, 150, and right there is our 150 amount. All right, let's do the negative side. So negative 50, negative 100, and negative 150. All right?
You don't want to be the negative 150.
No, but you know what? Such is life. All right, credit an account for $150. It's the same kind of thing. A credit is positive or negative? Positive, very good. So that's another positive $150. So we are going to have the same thing. I'm not going to redo that one. So let's go to the next one. Make a deposit of $25. Deposit is what? Plus or minus 25? Plus 25. So 25. What do you want to count by? 5s? All right, so let's start with 0. We're going to do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'm going to go ahead and put a dot right there at that intersection. And then let's go to the negative side. So negative 5, negative 10, negative 15, negative 20, negative 25. Okay? So again, it's like a mirror image. Let's go to the next one. A bank makes a charge of $5. What happens to your count? Minus 5, yep. So we could count by ones here easily. Let's do that. I'm going to do the positive side first, but that's not where a charge goes. A charge would be represented over here on the negative side to the left of 0. Right? And it says Tim withdraws $35. Now, a lot of kids earlier wanted to count by 7s. I like the way they're thinking. It's not a bad thought. But I want to show you something, because what I've seen in the past is kids would be like, okay, I'm going to count by 10s. And then they all of a sudden think that they can start counting by 5s. All right? So all the numbers on a number line are on there. It's just kind of, you got to think about it. How zoomed in are you, right? Like, we're kind of zooming out a little bit. We're counting by 10s. We can still get 35 on here, negative 35, I should say. That's no problem. But we're not going to all of a sudden change our scale. So we've got to just make sure we're neat about that. So anyway, a withdrawal of 35 is negative 35. Okay? Now, who can tell me what two numbers on our scale here, negative 35, is between? Michael?
40 and 30.
Nope, it is not between 40 and 30. Olivia?
Negative 40 and negative 30.
Negative 40 and negative 30. Michael's like, really? All right, so we're going to put it right here. okay? So it's still there. I'm just saying you can't like just do a quick change of scale, if that makes sense. All right, any questions on that? Pretty straightforward. Let's go to the next page, and we're going to talk about the thermometer. So essentially, instead of a horizontal number line, we're going to talk about a vertical number line. And vertical means it's going up and down. And the reason we're kind of easing you into this stuff is because next we're going to be talking about coordinate planes, well, coming up soon. So a coordinate plane is the integration of a horizontal and vertical set of number lines, okay? So you're going to have to kind of plot on both scales. But anyway, where am I ever going to use this stuff? Well, there you go. With temperature, use every day, right? If you listen to the radio, watch TV at all, go on your weather app. Yeah. All right. How hot, how cold? Temperature is commonly measured using one of two scales, Celsius or Fahrenheit. In the United States, the Fahrenheit system continues to be the accepted standard for non-scientific use. If you're using temperatures for science, you're going to use Celsius like most of the time, okay? But when we talk about the air temp outside, here in the U.S., it's Fahrenheit. It says all other countries have adopted Celsius as the primary scale in use. The thermometer shows how both scales are related. So you can see here on the right-hand side, there is a thermometer, and it's kind of hard to see, but it says the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Where is 100 degrees Celsius located on the thermometer to the right? Is it on the thermometer? No, so it's off the charts. All right, it's I'm gonna write it's beyond the scope of this thermometer.
If we were able to see, it'd be 240 degrees Fahrenheit.
All right, it says on a vertical number line, describe the position of the integer that represents 100 degrees Celsius. So where would it be, roughly? I mean, in terms of zero, it would be how many above zero? 100, yeah. So let's write 100 above zero. Okay, so you really need to make sure you're paying attention on any questions that deal with temperature, because a classic kind of math wizard trick is they'll try to get you to use the wrong scale. So just read carefully. Write each temperature as an integer, the temperature shown on the thermometer in degrees Fahrenheit. So what is that showing in Fahrenheit right now? Michael?
Positive 100.
Yep, so it's showing 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Right? The temperature shown on the thermometer in degrees Celsius, roughly, what is that? So look on the opposite side. Kaden, what do you see?
40.
It's pretty close to 40. I think it's really
35.
38, what do you say? It's counting by fives there. You see what I'm talking about, Kaden? All right, so right here is about 38 degrees Celsius. All right, and it says the freezing point of water in Celsius. The great thing about Celsius is, you know, it's pretty easy to remember that this is the freezing point. Does anyone know what it is? 0, yeah. So 0 is the freezing point. Does anyone know what the boiling point is in Celsius?
100.
100, yeah. So that's really easy to remember. If someone tells you your body temperature is 98.6, what scale are you hoping that they are using?
Fahrenheit.
We hope it's Fahrenheit. How do you know? What would happen if that wasn't Fahrenheit? Lonnie?
Yes.
I mean, Leliana.
You
Take 3, Leliani.
would be really hot.
Yeah, you would be pretty much close to boiling point, right? Like literally. I'd like to make up new hybrids of your names, okay? Sorry. All right, so this is fun to spell. Fahrenheit, because if it were 98.6 degrees Celsius, you'd be in rough shape. You'd be close to boiling. You're not going to survive that. All right, so yes, thank goodness we're talking Fahrenheit here. The next question, does the temperature 0 degrees mean the same thing on both scales? A lot of kids are shaking their head no. No, certainly not. They are different scales, therefore different temperatures. You know, anyway. All right, so let's go to the next page. In a second, we're going to go to the next page. Moving on. In 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, did I skip 2 pages? I did. All right. So we're going to exercises 3 through 5. We're going to write each word under the appropriate column, positive or negative number. This is like an old school word sort, kids. So first one, why don't you guys try it on your own and then I'll check back. All right, so I'm going to pause it. You guys write the numbers down, or the words down, and we'll come back. Okay, so positive numbers. What do we have for gain? What was that one? Positive, was that, I'm sorry. Let me start over. Let me start my confusing rant over. Where does gain go?
Positive.
Positive. There you go. All right. Where does loss go?
Negative.
Where does deposit go? Positive. Whoops. See? That's why you shouldn't hurry to get things done. Because you just mess up a lot. All right, credit.
Positive.
Ooh, good answer. And debit.
Negative.
Charge.
Negative.
Below 0.
Negative.
Withdraw.
Negative.
Owe.
Negative.
Receive.
Positive.
Very good. All right, so I want to talk about this below 0 stuff. Now, when you're dealing with temperatures, you do not say double negatives. You don't say it's negative 5 degrees below 0. It's too many negatives, okay? So you need to only say it's 5 degrees below 0 or it's negative 5 degrees, okay? But you don't get to say both. It'd be like saying, I'm not doing no homework. Oh, so you're doing your homework. You know what I mean? If you have a double negative, it kind of negates the meaning, so to speak. So one negative per sentence when it comes with integers like that, okay? So try to sound like you know what you're talking about with that. All right, write an integer to represent each of the following situations. Let's do this really quickly. A company loses $345,000. So loses would be positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. Now, an integer is asking for the number too. So make sure you're writing the number as well as the positive or negative. You earn $25. That would be positive 25. Owes his dad $5. That would be negative 5. The temperature is 5,600 degrees Celsius. That's the sun's surface. Positive or negative? Definitely positive. The temperature outside is 4 degrees below 0. Negative 4. A football player lost 10 yards. All right, that's what we're going to do for now. All right, thank you for watching Math with Mrs. Lehman. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.